Welcome to Secure 7. In today's episode, we're diving into one of the most common and underestimated vulnerabilities on the web, cross-site scripting, or XSS. We'll break down how it works, the types of XSS, live demos, tools used for exploitation, and most importantly, how to defend against it. Let's get started. Cross-site scripting happens when attackers inject malicious scripts into websites that get executed in the browser of another user. That script could steal cookies, session tokens, or even perform actions on behalf of the victim. Let's say you visit a blog with a comment section, and a malicious user posts. You can see the code in our conversation history. If the website doesn't filter this input, the script runs when others view the comment. Now imagine if instead of an alert, the attacker injects JavaScript to steal your session cookie and sends it to a remote server. That's serious. There are three main types of cross-site scripting. Stored XSS. Malicious script is permanently stored on the server, like in forums, comment boxes, or product reviews. Every user who visits the page gets affected. Reflected XSS. The script is embedded in a URL and reflected off the server in an error message, search result, or any other response. Example, you can see the code in our conversation history. DOM-based XSS. This one doesn't even require server interaction. It exploits the browser's document object model, often through JavaScript functions like inner HTML. Let's demonstrate a basic XSS attack using DVWA, Damn Vulnerable Web Application. Navigate to the XSS stored section. Enter this in the input box. You can see the code in our conversation history. Submit and revisit the page. Boom, we see a pop-up. That's a stored XSS in action. Now replace that with something more stealthy. You can see the code in our conversation history. That script silently sends your cookies to the attacker's server. That's how sessions get hijacked. Ethical hackers use to test for and exploit XSS vulnerabilities. Common tools: Burp Suite, intercepts and modifies HTTP requests. OWASP Zap, actively scans web apps for XSS. XSS Strike, automated tool for fuzzing and detecting XSS. XSS Hunter, great for blind XSS detection. Postman Curl for crafting custom payloads. So how do we stop XSS? Input sanitization, always filter user input. Strip or escape HTML tags and special characters like output encoding. Encode output based on where it's used: HTML, JavaScript, CSS, or URLs. Use secure libraries. Use libraries like DOM Purify to clean user-generated content. CSP, Content Security Policy. CSP headers can prevent scripts from running unless from trusted sources. HTTP-only cookies. Set session cookies as HTTP only so JavaScript can't access them. Framework features. Use modern frameworks like React or Angular. They escape output by default. Let's look at some real incidents. eBay. Persistent XSS in product listings allowed attackers to inject phishing pages. British Airways. XSS was used to steal payment info, leading to a major GDPR fine. Twitter. A self-retweeting worm spread via XSS in profile bios back in 2009. XSS isn't just a pop-up, it can cost millions. If you're into bug bounty, XSS is a goldmine. Tips: look for unsanitized input in search, comments, or profile forms. Try payloads like, you can see the code in our conversation history. You can see the code in our conversation history. Check for DOM XSS using browser dev tools. Use platforms like HackerOne or BugCrowd to report and earn rewards. Let's recap. Cross-site scripting lets attackers run scripts in other users' browsers. It can lead to cookie theft, phishing, malware, or full account takeover. CAD. Prevent it with input sanitization, output encoding, CSP, and secure frameworks. It's one of the most reported web bugs for a reason. Thanks for watching Secure 7. If you learned something today, give us a like and subscribe for weekly cybersecurity content. Comment below if you've ever tried finding XSS on a real website. Next up, we cover insecure deserialization, another sneaky vulnerability that can lead to remote code execution. See you in the next one.